Good afternoon, everybody. As we had a little bit of technical problems on the last recording, I have recorded this for the AWOC session of June. More than words, depth awareness, lip reading, and the power of inclusive communication. I'm Rachel Barber, founder of Living for Moments, which is all about supporting people to become more inclusive of disabled customers and employees. A bit of background about me. I have been severely deaf in both ears since infancy. I grew up learning language, orally using hearing aids and lip reading. In 2017, I lost further hearing, becoming profoundly deaf. This was unexpected and it impacted on how I heard the world and how I existed in it. It meant that I stopped going to cafes, I struggled in meetings, I didn't meet my friends anymore, and I withdrew, losing connection and my sense of self. This is why I do what I do. In 2018 and 2019, I decided to go for the cochlear operation and had a new cochlear processor put in January of 2019 by the Bradford Hospital in Bradford Hospital. The impact of hearing loss. It's more than a medical condition. Many people just dismiss it, but it's quite complex hearing, and it's something that many of us take for granted. So, hearing loss impacts on our confidence, our mental health, work and relationships, and social participation. This will vary depending on the different levels of hearing loss that people experience, but they will be impacted in some way in all four of these areas. And it will also vary depending on how quickly the change of hearing has occurred, the sudden being quite often more difficult, and gradual can be different and difficult for different reasons. I'm going to share with you Ramsdale's theory of hearing because this, for me, really resonated with my experiences of having a sudden change of hearing from severe to profound loss. So he identified that there's speech at one level, which is the social connection, hearing language, words and tones, and really comprehend and understand language and what it conveys. He also explores what's known as signal and warning. So these could be warning noises from different devices, whether that's an alarm clock, washing machine to say it's finished, car reversing, a beeping traffic light to indicate that it's free to go across, and even people calling your name, so in a waiting room, or people calling out that you're in danger. So that's level 2. We also have what called social background noise. Now, this is something many people don't fully appreciate, but it's really automatic. It's hearing of the background of nature, the sounds of birds, the sound of wind, sound of running water. It could be the sound of the hum of the office. It could be a clock ticking. So all of these are important for us to feel alive and connected to the world around us. And when we lose our hearing, we quite often lose all 3 of these levels. It can be deeply isolated, and because the hearing loss is invisible, the world around us doesn't often notice. And for profound loss, it's really a real shock because the social background noise is non-existent. Well, certainly in my case, I had absolutely no hearing at any frequency range. So with hearing aids, even with hearing aids, I wasn't hearing anything. And it's really sunk in when I was standing right below a fire alarm in my workplace. And that when I came to accept, actually, I had a profound hearing loss. I had no use for sound. I won't go today in the 7 levels of grief, but that is something that we all need to explore and understand when we're dealing with someone who's going through a change of hearing, whether gradual or overnight. So what does it mean in practice, though, deaf awareness? So deaf awareness means changing the environment and approach. We need to face people when speaking. We need to speak clearly, not shout. Shouting distorts the sounds, but it also distorts the lip shapes. Avoid covering your mouth. Reduce background noise wherever possible, because hearing aids and other devices will pick up these noises as much, if not more, in some cases, than the speech sound that they're hearing in front of them. Use text or visual to support speech. There's lots of different techniques on this, which I can share another time. Never say it doesn't matter or never mind, because this belittles the individual and takes the control away from the individual to decide for themselves whether it matters or not. Good lighting, which is essential for good lip reading, but also for following body language. Use of microphones in large meeting rooms. This is really important, particularly for accuracy, using technology like caption. If you are using a microphone to caption, they're more likely to be accurate. So, for example, the Battle of Ideas, there were people in the audience who used microphones. Those questions were more accurate on my phone than when people did not use them, microphones. It's not about perfection, it's about being considerate and adapting to what people need. I'm just going to briefly talk about lip reading. Lip reading is a visual communication. It's a powerful tool, but it's not easy. Many sounds look the same on the lips. So, for example, m, b, and p are the same lip shape. So you need context to understand the different words. So, for example, if I say mat, bat, and pat, with context, the sentence or theme, you're more likely to identify what the words are. Body language can also help. Lighting and accent and fast speech make it harder to lip read, but speaking slowly is not helpful either, because it distorts the speech sounds and the speech shapes. I'll be teaching lip reading to help people rebuild their confidence and reconnect. It's not just a skill, it's a lifeline for staying part of the conversation. I have had a lifetime of lip reading, so I am able to share with you not just lip reading, but many useful techniques that can assist people to stay in the conversation. So, what do I offer at Living for Moment? Training and talks of deaf awareness, hearing loss, disability inclusion, dementia awareness, and many other topics around the legislation from Mental Capacity Act, Care Act, human rights, together with this assessment to enable meaningful choices. We provide tips of inclusion for other disabilities and health conditions for different settings, from hospitality to public and private spaces. I will be offering lip reading classes from September. The first block will be starting in September and will be focusing on the more visible lip shapes, and then we'll progress to the partially visible to less visible. And this will be aimed at beginners level, and it'll be progressively get harder. And I would highly recommend people to commit to at least 3 blocks, but you will be able to do 1 block and do another block another year if that is better for that individual. But I would encourage you to carry on those classes, because the longer you can commit, the more proficient you will become in lip reading. But not only that, you will get peer support from the people that you join with. Audits and consultancy for businesses become more inclusive. So I not only identify what barriers are in many workplaces and public spaces, but I also help them to come up with solutions that are within their budget. So I price it and for quick wins, medium term, long term. So the long term may require bigger investment, but the return will be bigger. I draw on personal and professional experiences and expertise in all the different works I do. So why does it matter? Inclusion matter. Well, everyone deserves to be part of the conversation, and by becoming more deaf aware or disability aware, we are providing alternatives like caption, visual clues to enable people to be part of the conversation. But we also need to just generally ask what someone needs, because that can make a huge difference. We're all different, so what works for one might not work for someone else. Let's create the spaces where no one is left out. Thank you. These are my contact details. So I would encourage you to get in touch. Lip reading classes will be available on my website. I am taking bookings already. I have spaces in September. It's filling up fast, but if need be, I can create second classes. But it would be really good to see as many as possible in the first block. Thank you.